Hi, I'm Reed Holson. Welcome to Ask the Mayor. Every month we sit down and have a conversation with Mayor Mike Huther of the City of Sioux Falls. And of course, your questions frame what we talk about on this program. So get in touch with us at siouxfalls.org. Click on the Mayor's office on the right side, click on Ask the Mayor, and send us your questions. And we welcome Mayor Mike Huther. Welcome, Mayor.
Thanks, Reed. Good to be back with you.
It's great to have you as always. And
Thank
of course,
you.
this is March Madness. The weather is snowy, it's warm, and of course, we had great basketball and lots of great events at the Denny Sanford Premier Center. The Summit Basketball Tournament was great.
It really was. I think it's the best that we've ever done. Certainly, we actually had the largest basketball event in our state's history the night that the University of South Dakota men played the South Dakota State University men in basketball. And I mean, who could have imagined this 10 years ago, even 5 years ago? But it is real. It's happening. And we're creating some great memories. And yes, some economic development along the way as well.
And it's great to see how things have sustained out there in this building that's going on 3 years old now. The events have continued to bring people in.
They are, and I think one of the things that we still capitalize on is that now do we not only use just the event center, but the convention center and the arena and the hotel. Now that's just one big massive complex where we even do things like these basketball extravaganzas that happens during the week of the tournament. So all kinds of good things happening, and now we're getting another hotel that'll be built out there, and I think that really puts us in the running for even bigger things yet to come.
Are there enough hotels, even with this new one?
Right now, we want to compete for Division I men's basketball. Speaking of March Madness, they just made the announcement in terms of where the Jackrabbits are going to play, for example. But our goal is to have one of those opening men's rounds actually done in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And we like our chances. We did it with the Division I women's basketball. Now we want to do it with the men. And one of the things that was holding us back was having another large-scale, high-quality hotel. And now with the new Holiday Inn that's coming out there, we believe strongly that we're going to be in the running.
All right, it's an important thing because they look for that full-service hotel.
They do. They want, and we think we've got it all now. We've got, good airfare in and out. We've got a city that's just full of rabid fans, great spectators. We welcome guests into our community. We work with good groups like the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the hotel industry, the bar and restaurant industry. And yes, when you've got people like the Sports Authority and so much more, like the Summit League, you put that all together and we can really put on a good show. And the NCAA, they're watching us. And so we'll put in that bid in the years to come, and I think we're going to get it.
Interesting concert that was just announced too with Paul Simon now coming to Sioux Falls.
Sir Paul McCartney one day and now Paul Simon the next. These shows are happening in our town. The 88th busiest event center in the world when it comes to touring events. And I have no doubt that now Paul Simon will sell out just like Sir Paul McCartney did and so many others. So yeah, great announcement. So proud of Chris Semrau and Terry Torkelson and all the other folks that work at the event center because they turn things on a dime. They really do. I mean, we went from this monster basketball tournament to all of a sudden then you've got a sports show or a Stockman show, and then you've got a Paul Simon concert the next day. That's why we are the 88th busiest event center in the world.
Another great thing to look forward to is the Levitt Pavilion downtown. Just a couple of weeks ago announced the design plans.
It's, folks, I know that there are some of you watching the program that really felt that the event center ultimately would have been better maybe in downtown Sioux Falls. And again, that argument's long past, that debate's long past, and we're certainly reaping the rewards for our event center at its current location. But I think that the best fit for downtown, our event center per se, is going to be the Levitt Pavilion. It's going to be right there in the heart of our uptown. in this thriving downtown. It'll offer at least 50 free music events for young and old, rich or poor, black or white, visitor or citizen alike. It's going to happen right there in beautiful downtown, and I think it's going to be a much, much better fit than the event center ever would have been, and just so excited about it. The diagrams are out in terms of what it's going to look like, and it kind of takes in a little bit of that, the Big Sioux River and the falls and the waves and just the beauty and the aesthetics of the park. It really kind of captures all that and really makes it functional. And again, I can just hardly wait. The only thing I wish it would be built by the time I'm done being your mayor. But at a minimum, that foundation will be laid. The plans will be out there. We'll break some ground, and ultimately we'll all enjoy it near the end of 2018 and certainly 2019.
Incredible area down there with lots of great acts coming in and around 2018, 2019 at the Levitt Pavilion. We're in big league company with this because there's about 6 or 7 other municipalities that have this. I mean, we're in company with Los Angeles and some other big towns.
The Levitt organization, they don't partner with just anybody. And Reed, thank you for bringing that up. We are one of the very few cities across America where this a pavilion like this is partnered with an organization like Levitt. And in the other communities that they've gone to is really transform their city, transform that location. And that same thing is going to happen here. And again, remember folks, these are free events. They're open to everybody. And it's going to just be a great opportunity for people from all over to come together, really enjoy professional acts, free of charge, and really, I think it's going to just promote Sioux Falls and just create just this sense of pride, in just a grand way.
And then right across the street from where Levitt is planned on going, you're asking for proposals on 2 very key parcels of land for development.
Well, Reed, it's interesting. When I had the pleasure of first being elected to be mayor, that Uptown was still kind of in its dreaming stages. Mayor Munson and folks that he had worked with, they got that Phillips to the Falls going. But the development around there really wasn't happening at the pace that we wanted. Now there have been some major transformations, and we want to continue that. So yes, Reed, to the west of where the Hot Harley Nights, the German Fest, and yes, where the Levitt Pavilion is going to go, just to the west of that, we are now looking for proposals to develop that land in, again, another grand way. A place to live, a place to work, a place to play, but just keep developing it. And so it's going to happen about the same time the Levitt is going on, and just really excited about the potential proposals that can come in.
And across to the east, of course, is the railroad area. You've got some action going on there, requests for qualification, kind of the first steps to get development going on the railroad.
A lot going on, Reed.
Yes, in that neighborhood. It's exciting.
Downtown is certainly hopping. We had $50 million in development last year. But I think the sky's the limit in terms of what could come next. And yes, we've got that 10 acres of land that, thanks to the leadership of people like Senator Thune and Senator Johnson and so many others, we got that $35 million from the federal government, from the U.S. taxpayer. We inked that deal with Burlington Northern. And now we are looking for qualified applicants who want to dream big, want to develop that land in a unique but just incredible way. And so we've sent those proposals out, and I'm just so excited to find out what it's going to be. We've talked about this on this program before, Reed, that normally I'm kind of let's go, let's get this done, and certainly I want to get this done too, but this is one that I want us to do right versus fast. And these RFQs, RFPs, they'll help us do that.
talked about wanting to get phase 3 of the riverfront done. What's that going to take, and what's the vision for that?
Well, it's not going to happen during my tenure as your mayor, but I still think it's something that we should talk about as a city. We completed phase 1. That was about $5-6 million. Completed phase 2. That was again about $5 to $6 million. And I'd love to have us go across now the river to the west and complete phase 3. But these things are very, very expensive. They do take some vision, but it's the perfect time to do it, especially with all the other development that is occurring downtown. And so, yeah, I still would like to see that happen. I would propose that we put it into the next CIP budget, but it'll be the next mayor, the next council, and yes, the citizens ahead that ultimately make that decision on whether we do it or not. But I think that there's a rally cry out there to continue that work.
The other part of March Madness has been our weird weather. It's been nice and warm.
Yeah.
I've refused to wash my garage out because I know there's more snow, and we've had it. So let's talk about snow gates.
Okay.
We've had some that have been broken and some that have been
Sure.
used. It's been consistently used, correct?
The people of Sioux Falls ultimately said, we want snow gates. We want to invest in them. We want to utilize that technology to improve our quality of life. And not only are we using them, we're using them like gangbusters and always will. I don't see any chance in the world that we'll stop, utilizing snow gates. They've been successful. Have they been perfect? No. Certainly, we're going to miss a driveway or two, or depending on the conditions, certainly you're going to have more snow that's going to go over the top of that snow gate, and it'll fall into people's driveways, maybe much to their chagrin every now and then. But folks, these snow gates are working, and we're learning more and more every year, and I see them continuing on well into the future. Reed, when it comes to snow removal, we really do a great job. There are times where I sometimes wonder why, as citizens, every now and then, I know Mark Cotter and Galen Huber and myself, we'll get some pretty strong comments into our offices about how, hey, you missed my driveway, or you did a really bad job on my cul-de-sac, or dang, those snow gates, they sure didn't work as you touted. Folks, I think we sometimes take snow removal in the city of Sioux Falls for granted. We do it unbelievably well here. We invest a ton of money, a ton of talent and resources to do it better than anybody. And I want to give you this perspective. Folks, we've got 120 pieces of machinery that are out there. Much of the time they're out there when we're sleeping. And these women and these men, they're working 12-hour shifts until it's done. And in Sioux Falls, in this ever-growing city of Sioux Falls that's busier and more active and more productive than it's ever been, we normally remove snow in less than 30 hours. I mean, really, 30 hours. I'd love to find other communities that are doing it that effectively. And so I guess I would just ask, we certainly want you to call in, make us better. Tell us when we knocked down a mailbox. Tell us when we missed your driveway, or maybe we even missed your street. But at the same time, realize we really do it well here in Sioux Falls, and let's not lose sight of that.
When the roads dry out, orange barrels will come out. There's a lot of big projects coming up. This one, big ones on Louise and of course 69th Street to name a few.
Yeah, and if I had my way, these orange barrels would have already been out there. But as you know, snow is still falling. It's going to be a big year for orange barrels, and some of the biggest projects will be in some of the busiest streets in all of South Dakota. That absolute monster project there by the mall, Louise Avenue, that, to be fair, maybe was a year late in its getting completed, but it's going to be done well, and we'll all love it when it's done, including all the visitors that come to our great city. But that's not the only place it's going to be getting some attention, because we still know there's roads out there that need repair. We know that we need to keep Sioux Falls moving, make it more productive, improve those ability to turn and to stay going. So it's going to be a very, very, very busy summer. And again, as long as I'm your mayor, that's where I think the focus should be. Public safety, infrastructure, some of those boring things, but very, very critical things to ensuring that we've got good quality of life here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
And there's some other big projects as well. As Veterans Parkway is going to get another extension as it creeps its way towards Interstate 90. That's a big one. And other big projects, Arrowhead Parkway and so forth, are going to be done this year.
They are. And again, the city is growing. I mean, folks, we added the city of Harrisburg on top of Sioux Falls last year alone. 5,200 people living here and working here and playing here. And then when you throw in, this is the destination for people all across this area to come get their health care. They come buy their new truck or their new car, or yes, they go to the Denny Sanford Premier Center, the Washington Pavilion, or maybe they're even attending a swim meet or a hockey match at the Sanford Sports Complex or the Midco Aquatics Facility. But these people are coming in droves, and so we want to keep this infrastructure just rock solid, and so we're investing our dollars wisely in that, and we've been doing it during my term, but we did it prior to me being the mayor, and guess what? If you want to be the mayor of Sioux Falls, you better do it in the future too, because this is a city that wants good roads in the summer and good roads in the winter, and it comes with good snow removal, good road repair, and yes, adding productivity to those roadways as well, whether it be adding more lanes or traffic light technology or whatever it would be. So we're staying ahead of this growth, but it's not easy. It's unbelievably expensive, but it is a necessity.
Mayor and I are going to take a break, and as the mayor said, it's pretty comprehensive. You want to keep track of it all, you can on SiouxFalls.org and see if your neighborhood is slated for some road construction and or repair or refurbishment, as the mayor likes to talk about, at SiouxFalls.org. When we come back, we're going to take a look back on how we did financially in 2016. So stay with us and Ask the Mayor.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jensen with Falls Community Health. South Dakota winter has come again, and that means a lot of people will get colds. A cold is an infection of your upper airways that can cause a runny nose, sneezing, and maybe a little sore throat. It's caused by a virus, and unfortunately, antibiotics don't do any good against viruses. The best thing for a cold is to get plenty of rest and take some over-the-counter decongestant medicine.
Welcome back to Ask the Mayor, conversation with Mayor Mike Huether. And of course, this past year went by very quickly, Mayor. 2016 is gone. You're entering your last year of budget planning for the city. So let's take a look back on the 2016 year-end report. Mayor, an interesting year where we had a lot going on, a lot of prosperity, a lot of things going on, but at the same time, dropping sales tax. So explain how 2016 did and why that was.
Well, Reed, I actually think this topic was the number one accomplishment for the city in 2016. And I kind of relayed that when I announced my top 10. When you manage a business called Sioux Falls City Government, and you do it as well as we did, I think 2016 is one of those years that we'll look back on and be just unbelievably proud of, because early on in April, Tracy Turback and yes, myself, we did let people all across Sioux Falls and all across South Dakota know that we saw a trend and it was concerning. The sales tax revenues were softening, still growing, but not growing at the pace that we had hoped. So rather than kind of put our head in the sand, Tracy and Tom Huber and the financial analysts and the department heads, we implemented a plan immediately to begin to find potential savings, potential cuts, potential ways that we become even more productive with those limited taxpayer dollars. And we did it in just a phenomenal way. And I'll kind of give you an example. Tracy just gave the report and reviewing 2016. Well, we had planned on using well over $5 million in terms of reserve dollars last year. Well, because of the frugal way that we spent your taxpayer dollars, we still use some reserves, but just a little over $1 million. We have a goal to have a reserve level of about 25% of our operating dollars. We were well over that with about a little over 26. And so these things that are happening in Sioux Falls behind the scenes, they're done with a specific purpose in mind, and that is we want to live within our means in Sioux Falls. We want to be as frugal as we possibly can, squeezing that taxpayer dollar in every way, shape, or form that we can think about. But also we want to leave this city in really good shape. Not only to handle the needs of today, but the needs of tomorrow, and as well as those unexpected needs. I mean, we got April coming. Remember April, a couple of years ago, the April ice storm. Well, that was, again, the most challenging weather event or emergency that this city's ever handled. And ultimately, we did get some support from the federal government and the state government. But one of the great things is that even if Sioux Falls would have had to tackle that on its own, we would have been able to do it, thanks to the frugal way that we manage your taxpayer dollars. So 2016, I think, was a year that will be remembered, or at least it should be, because of the responsible way that your city employees, your finance team, your city council, and others managed the dollars.
So as you plan your last budget in 17, so you're looking towards conservative budget planning for that as well too. So you're saying you're seeing a trend of sales tax continuing to be down.
I do. We're not going to put aggressive sales tax numbers into our plan for 18. We're not going to do it. And I think it's the right thing to do. It does make you tighten your belt more. You do have to work harder to live within your means. And people of Sioux Falls, listen to this one, because this is the hardest part about being your mayor or being a city councilor or being in government. Here's the hardest part, is that I know all of you have different priorities on where you think we should spend our dollars. I know that there's some very, very important and well-meaning and really good entities out there that also have grand ideas on how they could spend taxpayer dollars to do good works. But the reality is that you've got to prioritize. You've got to make tough choices. And yes, every now and then you have to tell people no. Or at a minimum, not yet. And every time you do, oh my gosh, it's really a challenging thing to face someone across the table and say, I'm sorry, but we don't have the money to do it. And so, when you hear about these debates in terms of how we're spending our taxpayer dollars and how we did have to tell someone no or not yet, it's always a very, very difficult thing to do, but it's a necessary thing to do. We've got governments out there that don't make those tough choices, and those people are going to pay the price someday if they're not already paying it today.
And it's kicking the can down the road.
Kicking the can down the road,
As
putting
you
your
said.
head in the sand. Mm-hmm. And in Sioux Falls, we don't do that. And I love it. We've got one of the most fiscally sound governments in America. And so Sioux Falls citizens feel really good about that. But no, it doesn't come easy. It's always a battle. There's always some hurt feelings. It's always a challenge. And yes, not everybody's going to agree with the ultimate outcome. But we are taking it very, very seriously here.
Spring is on the way.
Yes.
Time to clean the city up as soon as the snow melts again for the 4th time. So your suggestions and considerations for people to clean up their neighborhoods?
Well, folks, first of all, don't rely on government to clean your neighborhoods. I mean, this is our town. There are neighborhoods, there are homes, there are parks. So every opportunity that you get to spruce it up a little bit, do it. I have folks out there that they wait for the street sweepers to come by before they'll clean up their curb and gutter. And I've always struggled with that. Why do people wait for that? Why don't they, get out their own broom, get out their own shovel, clean up their curb and gutter a little bit with that, the cigarette butts or the leaves or whatever. Yeah, sure, we're going to do it. We'll take care of it, but why wait? As well as, don't wait to trim your trees or trim your bushes that are overhanging over the sidewalks. Why wait for that note from the city to say you need to do it now? Do it proactively. If you're a business out there, look at your parking lot, look at your landscaping, look at those things in terms of how you're portraying not only your business but yourself to the visitors of Sioux Falls, and get out there and make it better. Because here's what happens: when you do it, people watch, and then they do it, and then it just starts a trend where we're all doing it. We've got a beautiful city, and I think it's because we've done a couple things. Number one, we're taking more pride in our city. We are proactively cleaning some things, and yes, when we need to, we're holding people accountable. I know that there's some people out there who say, "Well, Mayor, the city needs to be held accountable too," and they're right. So if you see something that you don't like, whether it be a pothole or a park that needs some attention, or whatever it would be, you let us know. But at the same time, Sioux Falls, hey, do your own part too, and let's make the city just even more beautiful. Every time I talk about this, I say, "Mayor, come on. It's the city's responsibility." No, it's our responsibility. It's our town. We're the citizens. As well as it's good for us. And what an example it sets for our kids and our grandkids. I mean, it's the way that it used to be, and it's the way that it should be today. And so let's bring it back.
If you're looking for a good job this summer, it's a great time right now to apply for some really good temporary jobs with the City of Sioux Falls that have been there for many, many years. Great opportunities.
Sioux Falls, if you've got a son or a daughter or a grandson or a niece or a nephew, or regardless of the age, maybe you're a retiree that's looking for some good part-time work, the City of Sioux Falls needs you. We do, especially in the summertime. And so, if you're age 15 to age 95, I don't care, and we don't care. As long as you're willing to work and make a difference in the city, we'll pay you a really competitive wage and really keep you busy. But we need you. When you've got an unemployment rate that's one of the lowest in America, there's others that are struggling to find good workers in this competitive environment, and the City of Sioux Falls is one of them when it comes to summer help.
All right. Mayor, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Reed.
We appreciate it very much. As the mayor says, we'd love to have you come join our family at the City of Sioux Falls. Find the jobs at siouxfalls.org. Also, summer hours are now into effect at the sanitary landfill at the City of Sioux Falls. So as mayor says, clean up and bring your loads out to the landfill 7:30 to 5 p.m. But remember, please tarp your loads or you'll be sorry once you get out there, because it's very important. We don't want things flying out on your way out there. And also a good way for you to be the eyes and ears of Sioux Falls too on siouxfalls.org for code enforcement, reporting potholes, those types of things, all available for you. One easy click on siouxfalls.org. We're grateful you watch, and we'll see you next time on Ask the Mayor.